Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots Podcast. I am your host, Charles Lung, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Jake Gloth. How are you doing today, Jake?
I'm good, Charles. How about yourself?
I am doing all right. I made myself breakfast today.
Oh, look at you, such a big boy. I make myself breakfast every day because I'm an adult.
Well, I just usually don't have breakfast.
Oh, okay. Well,
Today, I made myself breakfast in the form of French toast.
I was like, who else makes your breakfast? Do you have like a maid that comes in and makes your breakfast? I didn't know all this podcast money was really, rolling in for you.
The only people who make my breakfast are me and McDonald's.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
They're not sponsoring this, so.
I love a McDonald's breakfast. What can I say? It's horrible. I think all of them should be burnt to the ground, but damn are their hash browns delicious.
Okay, well.
What can I say?
I guess this goes into our McDonald's review part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is not positive, so that's good. We got that over with.
Their fries are delicious, but you feel your heart, like, trying to escape your body with every bite.
The fries are pretty awesome, and I don't notice that heart thing that you were talking about, but it is quite good, those fries. It's that nice, crispy, salty flavor. It's great.
Yeah. Cholesterol.
Yep. I love the taste of cholesterol. It feels so good for my heart.
I love the smell of human flesh in the morning.
Okay, well that was interesting. Was that a reference or something, or are you just exposing some details about yourself there?
It was a reference to something.
Okay. Is that a lie, or are you just trying to cover for yourself?
Why would I? If this was released on the internet and I said it was a reference to something and there was a big thing about it, they would just find the thing I referenced.
Oh, okay, so I should wait for it in the comments that don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this thing doesn't exist.
I'm going to talk about a TV show. That TV show is related to space. Because we haven't done a space one in a while.
No, we haven't, except for the one before last one.
Exactly.
But so many of them are space ones, though. You did Friends in space.
I did Friends in space.
I did Mandalorian. You did Lost in
Space.
Lost in Space. There's so many of them. It's too many.
Is a bit more Star Trek inspired. You know?
A bit more than what?
Than the other space pilots.
Well, they weren't Star Trek inspired, so yeah, right?
Exactly.
So it's not a bit more Star Trek inspired. It is Star Trek inspired as opposed to the other ones that are not.
It is a bit, but just let me talk about this fucking show.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So it's a small exploratory vessel that is in the depths of space. It has a small crew that is made up of a captain, navigator, and science officer, which are the top three people on the ship. A pilot, mechanic, weapons expert / hacker, and chef, which are the lower class members of the ship's crew.
What does that mean?
And that.
What do you mean by lower class?
I mean they have less authority and power than the people, in shittier barracks, I would assume. Well, I assume the captain, navigator, and science officer would get their own rooms, while pilot, mechanic share a room, and hacker and chef share a room. And then there are also prisoners on the ship.
Oh, this is a big ship.
It's not. There are only a couple prisoners, and it's just in case they need, like, a human being to do something. You know?
What do you mean? The other people are human beings.
Yeah, I know, but they don't want to sacrifice the crew.
Oh.
So they just have a couple
extra...
Charlie,
so are you saying there's some kind of a suicide squad?
No. It's only three. That
was my favorite line
from
the Suicide Squad.
My favorite line was Slipknot, man who can climb anything. That was my favorite line.
And then he dies.
And then he died after he punched a woman. Remember that?
I don't remember punching a woman.
Yeah, first thing Slipknot does... Or no. Yeah, first thing Slipknot does in the fucking movie is he gets walked out of the car and a lady cop, undoes his handcuffs and he decks her right in the fucking mouth. It's the first thing he does in that movie. Yeah. But they're prisoners number 699 to 701.
Ooh.
So there are 3, living, warm bodies that they have on board just so, in case they need someone to go onto a hazardous planet and blobbity bloobity something.
Okay.
Star Trek shit.
So we got this big crew of prisoners and all these different workers. What's the goal? What are they trying to do?
It's a small exploratory vessel, so they're going through like ancient battlegrounds and weird alien outposts. They're on the outstretches of the known specter of space.
Yeah.
It's like space is a big the I don't know. I hadn't come up with a name for their federation yet. Let's say
Federation. So you're saying it's like
the movement.
The movement. Okay, that sounds really sinister. So this is like the Republic in Star Wars and like the prequels.
Yeah.
So like they control the galaxy. It's all civilized, and this is the outer rim. This is the far reaches of the galaxy.
They're just exploring, and I would imagine that each week they would run into some weird thing on the outer reaches of the galaxy.
Okay.
Like Halloween episode, they could run into a ship that's overrun with I don't know, monster teddy bears that if they bite you, you turn into a giant anthropomorphic bear that can talk and sings and dances and has a cane.
So it's kind of like a space, I guess, sitcom in the way, because it's sort of it's serial rather than episodic. So it okay.
And I have a couple. I have the names of all of these characters.
Oh.
And our captain is Captain Salvador. He's a stern by the book captain who loves the ladies. That's what he's about. He's digging the ladies.
The ladies of all species, or just
ladies of all species? But he doesn't drink. He doesn't He's by the book, but his one weakness is he loves the ladies. Then we have Navigator Clark, who is boring and the worst. They're like, go left, because that's all navigators do. Just kidding. It's like...
Seems like you got something against navigators.
I don't really. Navigator
Do you hate
Clark,
your GPS system? Is that what it is? You really hate Siri telling you which way to go?
I actually turned that off.
I did too. I hate the voice. It's awful.
The voice doesn't help at all.
So this is your bent up rage against Clark is because of that. Okay.
Yeah. Navigator Clark, she is more robotic, doesn't really think in terms of human life being worth any more than company assets. She's kind of the ruthless capitalist of the group. Okay. Navigator Clark.
So
Science Officer Brannigan.
Ooh.
Brannigan.
Interesting name. It's long.
Brash. Very knowledgeable about one very specific field.
What's that?
Supernovas.
Okay. That's a lot more specific than I thought. I thought you were going to like physics or something, as opposed...
No, supernovas. He knows everything about supernovas. The problem is, they've never encountered a supernova. Like, there are no supernovas where we are. Supernovas aren't a thing that happen here, so he's basically a useless stooge that corporate had to get rid of, so they put him on the ship.
Oh, so he's not helpful at all with other stuff.
No. I mean, I guess he could be the medic, because I didn't put a medic in, because I'm an idiot, but you know what I mean.
So he's got, like, rudimentary medical knowledge.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that's scientifically trained.
Yeah. And we have our pilot, Shirley, Wisconsin.
That's a long name. Shirley, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well,
how come that's the one character with the first and the last name, and the other ones are just...
I was getting to that, sir.
Oh, okay.
Because this is such a evolved capitalist society,
yeah.
When you become a captain, your first name becomes Captain, and you keep your last name. So I was saying Captain Salvador's full name. When I say
what
Captain
about the other ones
Salvador,
where you just said Brandenburg, or whatever the guy's name was?
Science Officer Brannigan.
So his first name's Science Officer?
Yes. And before that, your first name can be whatever, but your last name is where you're from. What state you're from.
Oh, okay. So it rotates back. Got it. All right. So this is Shirley, Wisconsin. Shirley is from Wisconsin.
Yeah. Mechanic, Benjamin, Utah. Shirley, Wisconsin. I imagine her as being young, spunky, full of attitude, but also unsure of herself behind the wheel because she's just gotten out of the academy.
Okay.
Our mechanic, Benjamin, Utah. The best damn mechanic you'd ever seen flying his own homemade rocket. He built it in his backyard, and damn it if he's not going to fly it to work at least once. You know?
Okay.
He's kind of a lunatic, but he's a great mechanic.
Yeah.
We have our hacker / weapons expert, Jerome, New Mexico, who is... I like that name a lot, Jerome, New Mexico. But he's solitary, but very useful, and is the best in the business at acquiring information that he shouldn't be able to acquire. And his weapons expertise applies mostly to the onboard weapon systems of the ship, rather than to actual like guns and shit like that.
Okay.
Like he knows how to work the plasma cannons that are on the outside of the ship. You hand him a pistol, he's gonna shoot himself in the dick by accident.
Oh. Is that something that's going to happen?
I mean, maybe. We haven't made the show yet.
Oh, okay.
Then we have our chef, Mitchell, Michigan.
Mitchell, Michigan. Okay. Nice.
And he's kind of the side joke character. He makes really gross food that's... Like, he attempts to make very exotic and,
fancy
meals.
Food, but he can't
Fancy
quite...
food. But he's a shitty chef, and so everyone just eats. And, like, there's an automatic food, replicator on board that everyone just eats out of.
They don't eat his shitty food.
And he just makes food, and they all come to the dinner, like the dining hall, and sit down to placate him.
Oh.
And they all leave.
So what's the point of him if they have a replicator? Why would the government put him in there?
I don't know, let's just say there's a governmental regulation that states there has to be at least one person on board who is an expert in culinary arts, you know? You have to have somebody responsible for food on board a deep space voyage. Like, that's reasonable.
Okay.
And then we have our prisoners, 699 to 701. 901, I guess we'll call them. Call 191011. I've split these characters into 3 distinct groups. I think we'd have a plot of the captain, navigator, and science officer, sort of like three stooging their way through being the heads of this ship and like coming into contact with various alien races and flying in and out of like dangerous situations, and they're like, nice to meet you guys. Sorry we killed your god with our spaceship, but sorry we landed on him in the middle of a sacrifice. You guys want some cake? We brought cake.
But it's the chef that brings out the cake, and it's like all fucked up and looks awful. Kind of looks like a devil in a way, and they think it's some sort of evil god that they replaced their god with.
He's got a cake made of sardines, and one of the tribals eats it and just tries to slit his throat.
Yeah.
And then, so we have the captain, navigator, and science officer is one story. And then we have the pilot, mechanic, hacker / weapons expert, and chef.
Yeah.
As a second story. Because those are the people who are actually making the ship work. You know? Like the pilot. I like to think as the top 3 members of the show as being like a polite comedy.
Yeah.
Like an a comedy of errors, while the secondary characters, not characters in the sense of the show, but of the ship, would be more of a workplace comedy.
Okay, so you got sort of like an A and B story going on every episode.
Exactly, and I think the captain, navigator, and science officer, we'll just call them A and B. Crew A will be like discovering or trying to figure out what they've come upon that episode, which can be like a satellite or an outpost run by a different alien nation, or a planet that's made entirely of broccoli, or a satellite coming out of a black hole that's constantly repeating Rick Astley's Never Gonna Break My Heart. What's that song called?
Yeah, Never Gonna Break Your Heart. Yeah, that's what that song's called. Definitely try that.
It's definitely called that song.
What's the big... That's not the line, though. That's not... There's one line. That's the big one. Come on, you can do it. What's that other line? Never gonna...
Break my heart.
No.
Break your heart.
Give
your heart.
Oh my god. I thought you'd get it off of give. Are you serious? You don't actually know this? Come on. How are you?
Away.
Oh my god.
Give me a say.
Never gonna give you
up.
There you go.
Yay! I don't know why, but every time I think of give you up, like that phrase, I think of that scene in Dirty Dancing where they're dancing.
Oh, really?
In a pigsty, and he picks her up and he holds her up above his head. That's what I always think of when I think give you up. Just give you up.
I have no idea why you think of that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because I'm a fucking lunatic. That's why.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, and our third story will be of the prisoners, which I think will be kind of our author stand-ins, our author surrogates. Maybe
what do you mean? The prisoners are us?
The prisoners in the show are us. We're just the prisoners, and we have a third guy who's the red shirt. You know, like have you seen Venture Brothers? Probably.
No, I've never seen Venture Brothers. Jesus. So what is it? Us like criticizing the show?
Us just talking, about the weird genre stuff in space fiction,
Okay. And that could be pretty good because they could be like you could cut to like a deep conversation that they're having about like the sci-fi genre, and then like the captain comes in, and is like, hey, so we need one of you to like sacrifice yourself because they want a human sacrifice and they'll let us leave the planet. So you can come out. Let's go.
600 or 700. Let's rock. And they're like, God
damn. All right, well, you'll walk out like all polite and like, all right, guys, we'll continue this conversation later.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like we always find a way to get, because it's 3 prisoners and there's just 2 of us.
Yeah.
So maybe they're getting new prisoners along the way, and we just always find a way to make sure that guy gets killed.
Oh, so it's like a Kenny situation from South Park,
exactly.
Where it's like that one always dies.
Yeah. So, what do you think of my idea so far? It's not fully formed, but it's got potential, I feel.
I like it. I'd really like to hear more of the possible skit ideas, or like the episode ideas. Did you have any more that you could elaborate on? Because I like the idea of like they land on the planet, they destroy some primitive civilization's god. There's a lot of little adventures they could get up to.
I think one episode that's just blatantly yelling at us in the face is like they land, destroy an idol or god or something, and then they become the gods.
Yeah.
Or like
so like an El Dorado sort of thing. Like is that the name of that movie? Yeah, I think that's the name of that movie.
Yeah, that is. But maybe like one episode they fly through a thing, like fly through an effigy, go hide the ship, the whole crew stays on except for the science officer and I don't know who else. The navigator.
The navigator, sure.
Yeah.
That'd be
they go out and to do some research on the planet, and the science officer, Brannigan, becomes
the
god.
The yeah.
Because he's totally useless on the ship because everything's taken care of by the ship itself.
Yeah. But for them, he's smart and important.
For them, he can make fire, and he's like,
yeah.
We're basically doing a Rick and Morty episode, but everything's a Rick and Morty episode.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Like Rick and Morty does the spoof of everything, so whatever. And they have to like prime away. I think one character we should add is a ship AI.
AI is always fun, yeah.
AIs are always fun.
So you'd have like maybe an AI that's like slightly sort of it's got a bit too much personality to it, so it doesn't like listen to orders all the time. Mm-hmm. It's sort of just like a little sassy, you know?
Maybe maybe let's do an AI version of somebody we would cast in the show. You know what I mean?
Not really. So an actor?
Like we would get like, alright, we're casting Nick Offerman as the ship AI, and then on the ship they're like, yeah, we got the Nick Offerman update.
So it's the actual, yeah.
Our ship look and sounds exactly like Nick Offerman or whatever, and we just get a new one every season.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I think that'd be funny.
So who else could be another AI?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Will Smith.
We could have like comedians go through. We could have John Mulaney. We could have Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle would be great, but he would not do a full season. I doubt Dave Chappelle would do a full season of that. Maybe we could get him to guest star in an episode.
Yeah, so we have like it's an update, and so we do that for the first episode. But then the AI like corrupts or something the next episode, and we let everyone down because they're like, "Oh, Dave Chappelle this season, that's so great," and then boom, he's gone.
Yeah, that's great. Like first season, it's like first 10 minutes, he's got the Dave Chappelle update, and it's like. And you get the Kevin Hart update, and you're like, "Oh, this is not as good."
Yeah, so Dave Chappelle's only the AI for like 5 minutes of the episode.
Oh, that'd be great. Who would you
replace him with?
Yeah,
you got to do someone bad, like someone that they like really don't want.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. No, we got to do someone like washed up.
No, but like I want the AI for the entire season to be the one that replaces Dave Chappelle.
No. Could we? So it's Dave Chappelle, and then we do Christopher Walken.
Can we do Patton Oswalt?
I like Christopher Walken though. It's that unique voice right after Dave Chappelle. You're like, hell yeah, Dave Chappelle, and then Christopher Walken. You're like, but like his voice is kind of, it's a little annoying.
No, we do Bill Burr.
Bill Burr? Yeah, that's a good one too, yeah. I like that one. Bill Burr works.
Because I think that Dave Chappelle is the best comedian on the planet.
He's pretty good, yeah.
I think Bill Burr, best comedian on the planet that I know about. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm not privy to every comedian on the planet. But I think Bill Burr is the funniest white comedian on the planet.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. He's funny, but he's not as funny as Dave Chappelle.
All right. Okay. Well, we got our AI thing.
Yeah.
And you've got one episode idea. Is there any others you got in your head, or do you just come completely unprepared today?
No, of course not.
Sorry, I'm just making fun of you.
No, I know. I was thinking maybe they came upon a abandoned, derelict outpost in the middle of deep space that's been taken over by these life forms that have generated their entire society based off of like one of the former crew members of the outpost, like D&D manuals and stuff.
Oh, so they like roll dice for every decision or something?
Yeah, they roll dice for every decision. They've all got like swords and capes, and like I would like to think of these things as sort of amorphous blobs that take on shapes that appeal to them. Not shapeshifters, more of they just like pick a shape and kind of stick to it.
Okay. I mean? That could come up for like a funny reveal. So they like crash on the planet, and then like the doors open, and they crash into the outpost or whatever. They just open the doors to the outpost, and they see like a horrific army of like monstrous beings, and then all the beings like quickly crowd around and like roll some dice. And like, what do we do? Oh, okay, we're gonna attack you now because the dice. But we can't do that much damage because we had a bad roll. So
it's like, or they're like, all right, you do it. You go first. You roll your dice and you get ready. All right, he's gonna go next, and then that guy, then that guy, and that guy's gonna go, and then it's his turn. And then he goes to roll, and then
they just go through and they leave. Yeah,
they just fuck off. Or maybe they like catch it, like they're, in the woods, and that happens, and they just like sneak away.
I'd like for a situation where they're about to die, like someone like let's say the captain's about to get killed, and like the dungeon master of this civilization like comes up and he's like, actually you ran into a trap there, you're gonna die, and so the monster kills himself instead.
Or maybe the captain gets away. Like the executioner is swinging down his axe to chop off his head, then he misses, and he's like, yeah, I rolled a 1. So he like throws and decapitates the king, and it's like, yeah, I rolled a 1, so
that'd be a great way for it to end. Yeah, like they're gonna kill them all, and then they accidentally like they have a bad roll and they kill themselves instead.
Yeah, it'd be great. See, I have episode ideas in my head.
Look at you, how clever you are, thinking about pilots for a show where our job is to bitch pilots.
Or maybe they like smash into a satellite that contains a rogue AI, and our ship AI is like briefly taken over by another AI that wants to kill the crew. And it could be a Bill Burr centric episode, or whoever the fuck.
Oh no, you got to make the AI like someone that's really boring. So not a comedian, like someone that has a very dull, or is making a very dull and droning voice.
Or someone that everyone would hate. Ellen. I propose the evil AI is played by Ellen DeGeneres. More like Ellen Degenerate, if you ask me.
Oh, it was a pun that no one else has made before.
Roasted and toasted, just like.
Or you can just make it someone that's like really old, and then you're just sort of, and then it's like they're gonna take over the ship, and they're gonna make the ship old. Everyone in the ship's gonna be old and slow, and that's like the thing for the episode.
Oh yeah, or maybe we just be like they get taken over by an evil AI, and it's just really intimidating. Like, it's really mean to them, and it like does what they ask, but it's just a dick about it. So it's like, can we get back the other AI? Yeah. Just like, he just fucking yells at him all the time. We could get Samuel L. Jackson. He just fucking screams at him all the time.
Yeah,
or Peter
he's really
Capaldi.
abusive to them. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. That's okay.
And they gotta like sneak around to try to get rid of this AI. And they'll be so happy once they get Bill Burr back.
Exactly.
They'll be like, and then the beginning of the episode could be them hating on Bill Burr. And they'll be like so glad at the end of the episode, like, oh, we should have never been upset with you.
I will say it is copying a little bit of an early Red Dwarf episode, but who cares? Red Dwarf is great.
Oh, well, I've never seen Red Dwarf, so.
Colonel Queeg 9000, whatever you want to
Speaking of copying, how about we just do, instead of this idea, we just do 3 movies, okay? And in the first one, we have this young kid, and he gets like these 2 droids, okay?
Oh,
and
I thought you were gonna
then after that, like this old man comes up, and the old man's like, I'm gonna train you to be like a knight like your father. And then they like go into space, and then they save a princess, and they blow up a big ball in space, and the kid finds out that the bad guy's really his dad, and they have a cool fight in the last
Sounds
film.
Very lame. Is there a smuggler?
Yeah, and he's constantly trying to have sex with the princess.
Oh, that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Is it bad that?
And we're gonna call it Star Trek.
I think that's taken.
Oh, is it? Damn it. Well,
we're gonna call it a spacewalk.
Yeah.
Spacewalk.
Call it 2000.
Space Jog.
A Space Odyssey. That's what we'll
call it. We'll call it The Earth is Flat.
Yep. There we go. That's the film. That's the idea.
Reveal.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think we did a pretty good job today.
But do you really?
No, I don't. I thought this episode was awful.
Really? I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, it was all right, but I just want to let everyone know that I realized that this episode was bad. And, I'll try to do better next time.
Yeah, Jake will try to do better next time.
And by that I mean I'll make sure Charlie does better next time.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles Long, and with me as always been my co-host, Jake Law. Do you have anything you want to send us out with, Jake?
Well, this podcast is on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Google Podcasts. I think it's on Audible now. I think I did that the other day. I don't remember.
Oh, shit. Is it actually?
Yeah. No, I did that the other day.
That's awesome. Thanks.
We have a Twitter, too. VRP Podcast. Unfortunately, though, Charlie now has control of it as well. Yes. So instead of it having 0 tweets, it now has 2 tweets. So I'm sorry, guys.
I almost accidentally tweeted out my personal,
boy.
What I meant for my personal Twitter to the VRP Twitter. I think it was I look at people all the same. Men, women, children, I look at them all the same. Like my early morning shit. I take one good look at it and then I flush it away, hoping never to see it again.
That would have been weird.
That would have been weird for a podcast to say, seeing as
I
can't take a shit.
Yeah.
Podcasts don't know how to poop. They haven't learned.
Yeah, we should probably teach it,
No.
It's been weeks. I'm tired of changing diapers, okay?
No, it doesn't VRP know how to shit. It's just building up inside.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Should we give it a laxative or something?
No, I want to see if it explodes.
Well.
Like something filled with candy, but instead of candy, it's filled with poop.
Well, I hope this podcast doesn't explode.
I hope it doesn't poop.
I had a good time talking today, so.
Yeah, so did I.
It was nice chatting with y'all, with Charlie. Not you all, because you aren't here. But I hope you enjoyed. And that's a goodbye from me.
That's a goodbye from me also. Goodbye, good luck, stay safe, and don't forget to wear a condom.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.